What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. We are back for some more Crystal of Atlan, and I wanted to go over where my account is at the moment, where my gear is at the moment, what I've been doing every day, just kind of giving you guys an update as to what I've been doing, my plans for the game, and essentially what I'm at the moment. Without further ado, let's hop into the video. Let's go over our gear first and what my gear looks like at the moment on my Cloud Strider and on my other characters as well. For my Cloud Strider, I've actually been pretty lucky and I've actually been able to get a full class set besides the Seal and Talisman. I've gotten this by transferring over gear pieces from my alts, from doing Abyss of Purgatory on them, as well as also getting gear from Void Realm Nest, as well as Hex Chest Raid. Now, for the most part, what I'm doing on my main character when it comes to farming gear is, again, Abyss of Purgatory, Hex Chest Raid, and Void Realm Nest. And then on my side characters, I do the same thing. I do Abyss of Purgatory, Hex Chest Raid, and Void Realm Nest. If I can't do Abyss of Purgatory on my alts, then I do Critical Conquest instead to farm the Abyss Purgatory tickets, the hunting permits. And then I'll put the hunting permits on my main character so that my main character has enough to do their Abyss of Purgatory for the next day. Anything else gets transferred over to my alt characters after I've maxed it out on my main for them to do Abyss of Purgatory. Because if you guys haven't noticed, we're at the point of the game. The game's been out for about a month now, and a lot of the first time rewards you get, like a lot of the bound hunting permits you get, are for the most part running dry. Like if you haven't ran dry, you're probably pretty much almost about to run dry and not really have any more hunting permits here, and you'll need to start farming them from Critical Conquest and Elite Dungeons to start getting more of them. You can also farm them from the redeem shop here. You can do PvP and get these per week. Your fleet can also give you these per day, and then you can also get these per day from the commendation that you get from an ancient battleground. So even if you don't necessarily do Critical Conquest on your alts, if you do any one of these three game modes, you can get some hunting permits from here, which will alleviate some of that stamina cost and allow you to farm some more Abyss of Purgatory on your alts if need be. But I haven't been doing any of this. I've been doing Critical Conquest mostly because on my alts, I'm using them to farm some of these insignias, and I've actually been able to get this insignia today from actually farming Critical Conquest on my Magic Blade and my Bounty Hunter and my Warlock. So that's what I've been doing for the most part. At the moment is I do Critical Conquest on my alts and Abyss of Purgatory on my main until I'm able to get the pieces of gear that I need for my main. What I've started doing was once I got about 3 pieces of my gear, like 3 pieces of either this or accessories, I started to go ahead and pray for my pieces of gear that I needed. So essentially what I did on this character, the same thing I'm doing on these characters. So if you notice in my Warlock, I have about 3 pieces of my Warlock gear, and then I have like these placeholder gear pieces that are just here so that I'm able to meet the nullification requirements for things like Hex Chest and Nest and everything like that. And then what I'm doing from here is any pieces of gear that I get extra that aren't from my class specifically, I dismantle, and then I come here to Abyss of Purgatory and I go ahead and use them for Desarium to pray. And then I also make sure that if I'm going to be praying for a piece of item, that I put at least 20 inside of here. I put at least 20 in here. 20 gives me about I think it's like a 4-time chance to go ahead and get the piece of gear that you actually want. And then any extra gold that I have that I'm not using for upgrading or anything like that, I actually haven't upgraded my gear at all. For the most part, I just only use scrolls to upgrade my gear. I go ahead and I just use them to put more bits of Desarium in here to get the pieces of gear that I actually want. Now, when it comes to my circuits, I can show you my circuits really quick. If you guys wanted to see that, you guys can just pause the video and check the substats on them however you want to do that there. It'll make it a lot faster doing it this way than me having to go ahead and go through each one of these and let you know what each stat actually is on them and why I actually chose them. But for the most part, I think they should be self-explanatory for the most part. Here is the costumes that I'm rocking. They just died. It's the A rank costume you get from the gacha title, and then the gacha weapon. And then I also have a lot of gacha pulls that I've gotten, and these are not from me spending money. I have okay, so I have spent money on the game. I spent money on the game. I spent about $100, $170 on the game for the battle pass and all the other stuff. I haven't spent for gacha pulls. What I've been doing to get gacha pulls on my account is the Wondrous Shop. The Wondrous Shop has been giving me a tremendous amount of discounted pulls, and majority of the pulls that you actually see here, for the most part, besides like the 20 we get from leveling up, I actually did spend a couple of pulls, and I did spend some things in consignment to get them back, but majority of the pulls you actually see here are mostly from Wondrous Shop. These 6 transfer stones that I have right here are from Wondrous Shop as well. It's just a matter of me getting lucky in the Wondrous Shop as to why I have all of those pulls there, and that's basically how I get all my pulls. I don't spend on any pulls like gold or anything like that. It's just straight from the Wondrous Shop, and then all the gold that I've been getting on my account, like if I ever hit 10 million gold, I spend it on Prismatium. Now you may be asking, why do I spend it on Prismatium? That is because at the moment, there's going to be a point in time where 1 million gold is about like 100 or 200 opal. And I'm trying to take advantage of the consignment while I can until we get to that balance rate there. So while this is still pretty favorable in our favor, I'm trying to take advantage of that. And then once I actually start to see it's calm down a little bit more, then I'll start spending gold on upgrades and gear and all the other things. But as it stands right now, I feel like I do pretty good damage. I feel like I can clear everything inside the game. I don't necessarily need any big jumps from insignias or anything like that. So I've been spending my gold on opals, and then I'm using those opals to then, when I farm every day and get the Wondrous Shop tickets, I use them inside the Wondrous Shop to get the pulls that I want. And then once I actually am able to guarantee a pet, when I get the pets that I actually like, that I like the look of, I'll go ahead and spend my gacha pulls and get pets and costumes and all the other things that I wanted to get later on. That's exactly how I've been going about doing it, and exactly how I recommend you guys actually go about getting pulls as well, as the Wondrous Shop is the best way to get discounts on everything inside the cash shop, in my opinion, including transfer stones as well. Now, outside of that, if you go over my actual stats on my Cloud Strider, I have about 6.9k attack, 67 crit, and then 140% crit damage. And then here's my attack speed and crit and cooldown rate. And then for the element that I'm using, it is Umbro damage. That's what I'm using for the most part, because I have the most Umbro damage or Umbro enhancement on my Cloud Strider as well. Now, outside of that, here is my skill build. Same thing as the Cloud Strider guide video I posted earlier. And here are the pets. My pets are level 60, but I only have really upgraded my Cowboy pet, being the Battle Pass pet. It's just the pet that I'll be using probably going forward as well, just because of the crit damage and crit rate that it actually gives. This pet I'll probably be replacing with a gacha pet, so I'm not upgrading it too much past level 60, just level 60 to get the base assistive attributes here that it actually gives. And then for my ults, as you've seen here are their stats, if you guys wanted to just slow down the video to see that. And here's my bounty hunter stats. Now again, main character, Abyssal Purgatory is what I'm focusing on. Side characters, these are Abyssal Purgatory if I have the extra hunting permits on my main already and I don't need to do any critical conquest to get extra tickets, or if I need critical conquest to get extra tickets, that's what these characters here are for. All three of these characters are here to just farm the tickets for me to get them on my main so that I can pray and get the pieces of gear that I actually want. I'd much rather put the prayer system into work than try to do Abyssal Purgatory between 3 characters and then have to transfer over a piece of gear if I actually end up getting it, because transfer stones are pretty hard to come by once you actually get them out of the like shop or the merchant guild. It's pretty hard to come across transfer stones, so keep that in mind. And for the most part, it's not necessarily a set in stone daily routine. It's more about how you want to progress your account and what you want to do and who you want to be gearing. Don't necessarily stress too much about not having your class set. If you don't have your class set, it may just take a little bit of extra time depending on how lucky you are. If you're not having much success with luck, I would say go ahead and take advantage of that prayer system, and that should help you out a lot better with getting some of your pieces for your class set. But other than that, make sure you take advantage of the Wondrous Shop. You can get transfer stones and pulls from there, and that's basically what I've been doing, is just taking advantage of the Wondrous Shop, doing my Abyssal Purgatory, my Void Realm Nest, and my Hex Chest Raid. And that's basically what I've been doing on all my characters outside of that's basically what I've been doing on all my characters for the most part, without trying to basically what I've been doing on all my that's basically what I've been doing on all my characters for the most part. Outside of like my ults, if I don't have the hunting permits on my main character, then those are just critical conquest bots. But let me know if this kind of helped you out with just progressing inside the game, or where you're progressing, or where your account is at the moment in terms of progression. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. Be safe and peace.